Welcome back to Nasdaq Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We're coming to you live from the third day of the Singapore Fintech Festival. And joining me for this segment, we have David Rutter. He's the founder and CEO of R3. We're going to take a look at the third innovative wave in blockchain. David, it's great to have you with me.
Thanks,
and
Jill.
the rise of enterprise tokens, this is really lending to that third innovative wave in blockchain. After crypto and enterprise blockchain, tell us what this third wave is.
So let me start by saying a couple weeks ago we had our big annual event. It's the QuarterCon event in London, where we had a couple thousand people for 2 days, and the whole conference was a buzz about the next wave. People calling it the third wave in blockchain, and it's about tokenization of assets to really improve on the systems that exist today, clearing and settlement, transfer of securities, the tokenization of everything from art to fine
anything
wine.
can be tokenized.
Anything can be
Right.
tokenized, and the advantage of that is that when you use a secure technology like Corda, that means I can move those assets around the globe much more freely and cheaply. So if we want to stick to the financial markets, if you think about the way securities are held at a custodian today and the way the market infrastructure works, it's expensive, it's slow, it often takes days to settle. By moving towards tokenization on a secure blockchain like Corda, you can have much greater use of those assets. You can lend them out more quickly, move them around more freely. So that's where we're seeing a lot of the work globally.
So Corda is R3's blockchain system.
Yes, Corda is our permissioned enterprise blockchain solution that we've developed over the last 4 and a bit years. It's unique from other blockchains because fundamentally our privacy story is we only share data with the parties that need to see it, and that's very different than Bitcoin and Ethereum, which broadcast data to everyone. And those decisions made 4 years ago or so have really paid us dividends now because people are focused on that whole privacy story.
Are you still seeing the continued convergence of multi-party computing and blockchain?
So yeah, the multi-party computing, when we talk about blockchain, I look at our system as being a distributed computing, smart contract operating system. And we can be lost between blockchain and DLT and kind of that next higher level. When people talk about distributed computing, some of the things that we're seeing is that, like, we've done a lot of work with the Intel SGX chip, which adds a layer of hardware encryption. So it's a part of the chip that is completely separate, and it prevents the owner of the actual physical technology to actually see what's in it. So that's just an added level of privacy. So you can validate results of equations without seeing private data that's involved in that calculation. And we've built our solution for the SGX chip on Java, and I think that's going to be another differentiator for Corda and the use of our platform.
All right, now to wrap up here, the importance of interoperability, particularly when you're moving legacy assets to newer systems like the blockchain.
Yeah, so we've been focusing on interoperability for a long time, and kind of frustratingly, people have been asking me for about 4 years about interoperability between Corda and the other big kind of global enterprise blockchain is Fabric, which is primarily supported by IBM. But what we're focused on is interoperability between Corda solutions. Right now, that we know of, there's over 200 solutions being built on Corda in all parts of the world in different asset classes. So we're very focused on interoperability between our own business network operators, which are the folks that run those programs. Over time, I do see a world, especially if this kind of parallel world between Fabric and Corda exists, that we're going to need to create interoperability between those two chains, but we just haven't seen the customer demand for it. And given all the other competing demands we have globally, we're really focused on making our interoperability story work for our customers and their solutions now.
All right, amazing. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me on.
And thank you for joining me on Trade Talks. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.